Alright, we're back again. One of these days, I'm gonna get this thing. Every time I hit that button, it's like shit changes inside of me. Because, it's like going from being by myself to now I'm talking to y'all, people looking at me and shit. It's not live, it's just my phone at the moment, but I know it's going to y'all. So, one of these days, I'll get it fucking flowing smoothly so I can just do this and, you'll see my growth changes. Same little process this morning. Woke up, took me a while to get going. I didn't know if I wanted to do a video because it was Sunday. I don't know. But I decided to because I was sitting there thinking there's a lot of shit that was coming up to me. A lot of stuff, especially about yesterday. It kind of makes me a little nervous actually to talk about some things. I forgot that when you start speaking for God and serving God, that God calls you to be truthful. With your life and everything, what you see, God will call you to step on people's toes and all kinds of stuff. All right, it's not easy. It's not easy being truthful and honest and speaking for God, being a servant of God, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, a servant. Sure, serving God and serving life for the better, overall good. Especially these days, as much corruption and evil and just bad ways that there are in the world. There's a lot of it. So I'm gonna walk around, and move a little bit. Hopefully get these jitters out of me. Okay. So one thing I was thinking about this morning is lineage, your bloodline lineage, and how the Old Testament. That's something I fucking do a lot of fucking movements. I've noticed that shit watching my videos. I look like a damn crackhead getting off crack or something. I don't know what's up with that shit. Well, I guess it's breaking away from addictions and stuff. I've never done crack or nothing like that, but still, yet when you get to breaking away from any addictions, I don't know if it's because of that or maybe just me. I'm like I don't know. I like to move. I'm just a very moving kind of person. Whatever it is, I notice myself doing this shit. Don't pay no attention to that. Goddamn, that's just something that comes along with talking to y'all. It's nervousness, I guess, is a lot of it. And so, and I express that. So that's me. Got this shit going on inside of me, and I'm expressing it in outward manner, right? And I was pretty well unaware of it until I started watching myself. I go back and watch my own videos, and I watch myself, and I'm like, I see lots of little shit inside of me. They say God is within you, right? Okay. So what better fucking way to figure yourself out than to study yourself? The last time I connected to God, I used to, I'd make all those posts on Facebook, and I would go back and reread them all the time. If somebody liked them or commented on them, I would reread my own shit. I say my own shit. I did because I was speaking from the truth. So I wasn't just like, it's not like I'm full of shit, like I'm full of myself, as in a full of shit kind of way. It's becoming full of the truth that is within me. So I get to recognize my own, just like that. That's a truth. Like I see that, and okay, that's a little nervousness in me that comes out in the form of an action. And y'all see that. Okay, this is how you recognize things in people, recognize people's behaviors and what's going on in them. And some people are extremely good at this. I used to be. I'm getting back to it. I never noticed some things yesterday evening with somebody. I don't know if I want to, how much I want to talk about it exactly. That's what's kind of bothering. That's the hard part here, right? But I know some with somebody yesterday evening. They have they got an event coming up in the future, and um, my God, I just saw there was only a moment. Well, it wasn't a moment. I kind of noticed it the whole time, but there was one specific moment that I noticed nervousness and a lot of fear coming up in this person, and I saw it, man. I saw the look on her face and um, just her body language and everything. And then somebody, her family member, pointed that out to her, and I watched. I watched all of that. She done what I used to do, what I would normally do. I watched all of that fear and that nervousness and that stuff that's going on inside of her. Instead of her expressing it, she took it and repressed it right back down inside of herself. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I don't know. I felt bad for her, honestly. I felt for her. I don't want to say, I felt for her. I really did deeply. I'm like, my God, she's got some challenges ahead of her. Okay, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not like she's going to be fine. She's got a great family and stuff, but um, there's definitely some challenges and shit that she's going to go through with all that. Um, and so let me get back to the Old Testament and the New Testament and lineage, your blood lineage and stuff, and how the New Testament is a way when, so as we grow and develop throughout life, if you're with God, everything's good. If you're, I have witnessed this, I know people, men and women of God, they have godly families. And this one I'm talking about, they're actually kind of one of them, they come from that, but they got like some old school ways that aren't very healthy with this world anymore. So when the world changes, things change. It's like you need a new set of ways. You have to make changes, right, to stay in love, just like a marriage, a man and woman working together. Y'all grow together, and you have to make changes and stuff in order to keep the love alive and going. So it's the same way with your lineage. The Old Testament is very adamant about lineage and the bloodline. That's why if you ever read it, my God, there's names and names and names. It's actually a very difficult to read. The Old Testament it is. Um, and so eventually, if you stay with God, and that means having good godly behaviors and ways of living and stuff, your lineage will carry on. Your kids are going to stay with you, and they'll carry on your ways, and their kids will carry on their ways. But as all this happens, eventually we develop bad ways. I don't have much time here. My phone just hit 5%. So let me, I guess, try to speed this up. Man, I hope I don't have to watch that. The New Testament is about breaking away, and Revelations is about breaking away. So when that happens, when we go on and develop bad ways, our family does or whatever, a child is going to come along, just like Christ come along, just like I did. I connected to Christ directly. This is why I've compared myself to Christ. I mean, I didn't feel like I was Christ, but I found the exact same thing that he did. I am the one in my family that my bloodline that broke away and started my own new path here, my own new ways getting back to God because we fell away from God. I come from, I don't know, just families that had lots of bad addictions and stuff, problems, ungodly ways that were harmful to me, and I've noticed are harmful to themselves and others. Okay, so I broke away from all that. And that's, man, I wish I had more time. There's a lot to explain here. So let me not rush myself and slow down a little bit. So Christ was born. He was a child, okay, and he come along and started new ways, even new ways from the Old Testament God. The reason I used to 2 years ago talk about the Old Testament God being evil. Well, that's not really true, because for his time he was very loving and good, and he brought humanity all the way up through that time. And then Christ come along. Christ changed things, started new ways, right? Like Christ says, turn the other cheek, okay. So it's kind of established some new rules, new laws to further advance the world in this our spiritual evolution, our growth into love, into blossoming out into a beautiful humanity. And I don't know exactly where I'm going with this. I guess just trying to explain, bring understanding on it, really. How oftentimes there's one child out of the bloodline that will be different, and just will feel this calling or this. Me, I didn't know it. I just knew that I didn't know anything. I carried that feeling around with me all my life, like suppressed myself, and it's like, I guess deep inside of me somewhere, I knew something wasn't exactly lining up right, with my family and stuff. But I didn't, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I didn't have any understanding of it. So that was what my awakening was 2.5 years ago. It was like all that understanding fucking hit me. Okay. And I woke up and I began to see things clearly, like how I play my part in serving God and serving the world and bringing godly ways back to our world, back to people. If nothing else, I bring godly ways back to myself, and if I have kids, pass them on to my kids. I may not be able to change it. You can, whoever's willing to change, I can help them change. If they're not willing to accept changes, I can't do shit about that, right? But some people are willing to change, so I can help those that are willing, and I can help myself and the ones that I'm around. Because I've met everybody I've met in the last year. That's what they've been doing. Like they have actively, consciously been making a point to change and better themselves, to develop better ways of living for life. When I say, I just for life, for their families, for themselves, to get along and have better relations with people. And so that's what happened to me. Same thing that happened to Christ. Okay, 2.5 years ago, I found that enlightenment that Christ found, and I went around and tried to do what he done. I spoke the word and was pretty aggressive with it, as far as like just throwing it out there everywhere I went. I pointed out flaws and bad ways, and just I pointed out all the world's faults and problems and shit to anybody I come along with. And eventually I was crucified, buddy. Spiritually fucking died off. As you have to. It talks about this stuff in Revelations, okay? Like the first and second death. It says the second death is painless. It doesn't hurt. The first one's a goddamn bitch. Don't ask me to explain all that stuff to you in detail, because I can't do it at the moment. It's not coming to me. As far as to the meaning of the first and second death. That's not what this is about, okay? So, and don't go pointing at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking this body or whatever, okay? I speak on what comes through me. God. All right, the truth. You don't, this is why it says do not test God. Like, I don't let people come and fucking tell me I don't know what I'm talking about or full shit or whatever. If they do, I'm not going to engage with that shit. All right. Anybody who knows God or has an understanding of the Bible and stuff, they understand that Spirit leads you. Spirit, says what needs to be said at the right time and in the right way. It doesn't say something that is not going to lead to progress. Okay, so that's why you take shit as it is. Okay. But I was crucified, and now I'm coming back. All right, Christ has his. He comes back to the world or whatever. I've never was not in a physical manner. Christ's spirit is carried on. Christ still lives in the world. He's talked about all the time. He's loved. He's praised. I mean, he's very much alive in the world. Um, but I've began coming back. I've been coming back into my own spiritual family. So finding my people, as I've said, I broke away from the old people, the old ways and shit. You know, you had the Pharisees and the majority of people during Christ's time, they lived by old school laws, stoning people and stuff. And so Christ broke away from all that. He was the child that broke away from that. That was his purpose in life. This one's kind of difficult this morning. I got some old shit going in my belly there. So nervousness there this morning. So a little bit more than usual, I guess, which is actually something that I can point out. That just tells me that I'm doing pretty fucking good as far as my own personal growth, being able to hold that feeling, hold space for that feeling. All right, we talk about, you hear a lot of stuff about holding space for people. Women want men to hold space for them in their emotional times. You know, they have their period and their monthly shit, and they have emotions and shit. They don't really get to control all that, and a man needs to be able to hold space, a protective environment for her, and allow her to experience that shit. You know, without fucking chopping at her or hurting her or making it worse. You know, you don't need to make that worse for her. So, then this is what I'm talking about with myself. I have a masculine and feminine side. And this is a clear, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for there. I can clearly see how my masculine side is developing and growing because I'm able to hold space for my feminine side, my emotions and shit, the things that I feel inside of me. I'm able to hold space for that and still do what I need to do. Say, continue on with this process. You see me struggle a lot, right? Okay. Well, the reason I'm able to get through these struggles and keep going instead of just shutting down and being like, no, fuck this. Like I'm just recording myself. I could at any time stop it and delete it and not post this, right? There's a couple the very first time I made a video. Y'all saw me. I stood here and I was just like quiet for a minute. That's because when I first pushed the button, it was like, oh fuck, it hit me. I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, well, I guess I could delete it and try again. I was like, no sense in that. I didn't do that. I continued on with it, okay? And the third video I think I made, I had some thoughts pop up like, well, I might delete it because it was taking a while to get going yesterday morning. But I didn't delete it. Why? Because this is the testimony of God. You're seeing the truth in me. You're seeing my struggles right here on video. The shit that I go through, right? And developing myself and opening myself up. And that in itself is testimony of God, a witness of life and what we have to do in life. Okay, the processes that we go through and becoming better people. Courage, you call courage. It takes a good bit of courage, right? to do that shit, to face your fears. So I don't know. I'm not bragging about myself at all. Like, I'm not bragging about myself, but I notice that in myself and I love myself for it. Like I guess the worldly side of me is proud of myself. I don't think there's anything wrong with pride. A lot of people talk about pride like it's a bad thing, but I think there's nothing wrong with pride, being proud of somebody for doing something good. There's something wrong when you let it go to your head. So just don't let it go to your head. If it goes to your head, you'll find out because it'll end up coming back and biting you in the ass. And that's why I tried to explain. I did explain there 2.5 years ago to people, like, everything I'd done, none of it was out of ego. It wasn't out of pride. It wasn't out of self boastfulness or nothing. It was out of humility, actually, a hell of a lot of humility. You have, yeah, that's what you have to do in order to serve God. You can't serve God and be a boastful, arrogant jackass. You know, you got to be humble and know where you're at in life. Like I'm just one tiny little human being. We've all got the power of God. We all have the power of the universe inside of us. We all are very massive and big, powerful individuals. But at the same time, you're a little pissant, okay? And God can squash you at any time. Life can just come along and step on you, and you're gone, done. Or you could lose every fucking thing you have. I done that. Lost everything. When I say everything, I lost myself. I lost all my love. I lost all that shit. I died on the inside, my love and everything. You can't fucking lose no more than that. I don't know. I don't see how you can lose any more than that. In a worldly sense, my situation isn't nothing compared to most people's, but in a spiritual sense, goddamn, I've been through same shit Job went through. Okay, same shit Christ went through. Same shit every other fucking person who called their fucking way out of hell and up to God, found God, the same shit that they went through. Okay, so that feels pretty good there. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time. I'm down on 1%, so that works out great. I need to get off here. I love y'all. Take care. I don't know. I'm going to keep doing this. Whatever. God's going to lead me right, and I will do the best I can with it. And not losing myself again, because that hurt me. That hurt me, and that hurt y'all. It hurt everybody that was following me. That just, I saw massive damage come from that, and I don't ever want to do that again. So, y'all take care, and be good. Don't be good. See ya.